Welcome to the Security in 5 podcast. I'm Drew, the binary blogger. This is a short program that brings you security news, tips, advice, and opinions in the area of information, IT, and general security in about 5 minutes. Quick to listen to, easy to understand. The more aware you are, the more secure you can be. This is Security in 5. Thanks for listening. Welcome to episode 4 of the Security in 5 podcast. Today we're going to talk about security mistakes. And I don't know you. You could be anywhere around the world, but I can place a good bet that you are making one or more of these security mistakes in your personal security life. And when it comes down to, these are very, very simple things, but really the minimum is the best. It's the easiest. It's the least obstructive. It is the most convenient. And unfortunately, we gravitate to the simplest manner, but that does not mean it is the best in security practice. So here are the security mistakes I bet you're making right now. First one is easy. You're using weak passwords. And you're probably using the same password on multiple sites, which is an extremely dangerous practice because if your website A over here gets breached and you're using the same username and password on multiple sites, inherently all of those sites were breached because a criminal has your keys to multiple sites. And what criminals do is when they get a username and password combination, they pump it into automated scripts to go try to use that account elsewhere. And it's all automated, and they'll hit the major sites, the airlines, the banks, the hospitals, wherever, and they'll just try to log in with that password and see if they get lucky. And if you use weak passwords and you use the same password on multiple sites, then you, in a sense, are giving them keys to all the areas that you're doing that with. Weak passwords, same thing. You can crack a password now, depending on the system, in seconds. So complex passwords, even better, move away from using passwords or complex combinations of letters and numbers and move to passphrases. And we'll talk about passphrases or what NIST now calls memorized secrets a little bit later. But weak passwords, mistake number 1. Number 2 is you're not using a password manager. Probably writing it down in a notebook that you carry around with you, which is a horrible idea because if you lose that notebook, you lose everything. Using a password manager is the best practice. An encrypted store, all of those all your passwords are encrypted. They can even do analysis on your password strengths. Even better, they can generate the passwords for you, which then adds another layer of security, and you use that to authenticate to the systems rather than you having to type in passwords all the time. Then you can extend the complexity because the system is doing it for you. Number 3, and this one is becoming more prevalent, is that you're not using two-factor authentication on your most critical websites. All of the major websites, the social media sites now, have two-factor or multi-factor authentication enabled. And what is that? Traditionally, you have a username and password, which is one factor. And there are 3 factors of authentication. Let me back up a little bit. What you have, what you know, and what you are. What you know are questions, security questions, your username and password, anything that you're typing from memory. That's what you know. What you have would be a security token of some kind, either software-based or the little RSA token that you put on a keychain, that the 6-digit number that rotates every 30 seconds. Something physical that you have to have in your hand, smart card, whatever. And then what you are is biometric, iris scanner, fingerprint scanner, facial recognition, voice recognition, whatever. So two-factor authentication, so if you log into your Facebook account, you can set it up that you can enter your username and password, but then Facebook will also challenge you for a security token, which then you get from your smartphone Facebook generator. And you get that token and then you put that in. That way, if your username and password are compromised, you still need to have that device to generate the code. So your username and password aren't worthless, but they become significantly less valuable to a hacker if you get them if you have two-factor turned on. Another one is you're over-trusting emails. Even from people that you know, we still randomly click on links assuming that they are safe. And phishing is still a major problem. And I just accept the practice is that I don't click on any link that I get in any email. I don't care where it's from. If my bank emails me, my bank doesn't send links for a specific reason, but if I get a business email, I go to my browser and enter the address manually. I never trust a link because I don't know where it's going. I don't know where it redirects to. They're getting harder and harder to detect. They're becoming more tricky to hide them. Don't click on emails. Another mistake that you're making, you're trusting public Wi-Fis are secure. You're trusting that they're valid. Connecting at coffee shops, you don't know if that's owned by the coffee shop or a rogue access point that somebody set up in the roof of the bathroom called the access point, and that access point now is siphoning off and key logging off all of your input that you put onto your websites. Personal Wi-Fis, public Wi-Fis, security pitfalls, don't trust them. You can protect yourself by doing another mistake. Correcting another mistake that you're not doing is using a personal VPN on your devices and your machines. Set up a VPN, use encrypted tunnels to the internet, public Wi-Fi, home network, then your traffic cannot be sniffed. And the last one, you're not staying on top of your software patches and your hardware patches. Your phone, easy, it tells you updates right away. Your operating system's at home, well, it's probably set for updates, but how often are you checking? And I can guarantee you're not logging into your IoT devices or checking your IoT devices and your home Wi-Fi access network and routers and checking the firmware updates that come out on a regular basis. Not as often as, say, Windows patches, for example, but are you logging into your home router and checking for Wi-Fi router updates from the manufacturer? Because those get 0 days and viruses and attack vectors just as much as PCs. And in fact, that attack level is increasing because people are so far behind on patches and don't necessarily know that they should be updating those as much as others. So there you go. I don't know you, but somewhere in there, I bet you were doing some of those security mistakes today. Easy to fix, greatly improve your security posture. Today, Security in 5. Thanks for listening.